Hello everyone. So I've come home from work ill, and I thought I'd talk to you about some stuff. Ignore what's on the screen; it's kind of irrelevant, believe it or not. But I've been doing some work to my game engine. I actually got some 3D stuff going on with this shit. Still working on the camera, but you can see that. Where is the E gone? It's somewhere. The 2D and 3D interact pretty seamlessly and independent of each other. Um, yeah, it's kind of cool. I'm working on the camera classes now, so you can get like a first-person camera, or a top-down camera, or a side-view camera, or like an orthogonal kind of weird-ass camera, or a 2.5D camera, which I guess would be side-on, and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, 3D model rendering. Just for shits and giggles, I have. What am I doing? No, got wireframe rendering. I haven't got like a command for it, or like a console command or a keybind for it yet, but yeah, look at that. Hey cat, could you? My cat loves bags. It's fucking weird. But yeah, so I'm setting that up now to have like a keybind, so you can switch between wireframe and normal, and um, like anti-aliasing, different render options, that kind of stuff. Just like a normal options menu as well. For the moment, it's working okay. This cube's actually loaded from uh, file. My hard drive has to start up. Give it a sec. Um, so this is the original file. It's just a description of the first three are the XYZ coordinates, the next two are the texture coordinates, and the next three are the normal coordinates. Normal X, normal Y, normal Z, which is the lighting. At the moment it's not lit. I'm working on that. And then I made a tool to this guy. So it can take, it's very basic, the interface. It can take like that text file, which I've closed, and output an indexed model. So you see it's only got 20 unique sets of vertices, but it has 36 vertices because, you know, if yeah, because you know you have a triangle, then you have a second triangle, so those two are common, and then when you go over here, those two are common with, you know. Anyway, I could just put wireframe on and show you it, but I'm super lazy. Yeah, I guess that's it. Like I always push this philosophy of if you make good. I sound like I'm blowing smoke at my own ass, but I don't mean it like that. It's like when I talk about the stuff I'm doing, it's always good groundwork means that in the future you don't have to do as much to add shit on top. Yeah, that's so freaking wordy, isn't it? Um, so to make the cube, all I've literally done is this. I create a model. It just runs a model factory, um, which reads in the file with all the vertexes either lit or unlit. In this case, it's unlit. Um, yeah, and creates the index buffer. Um, and then I set the texture. There's a generic set texture function, which I got here, which is my texture database, which means you can have 100 things all referencing the same texture. Even if you load them separately of each other, you don't have to keep a reference of it, which I quite like. And then just set the scale, which is using world transformations. I'm doing this thing. If nothing's moving, you don't really want to be creating the matrix, sorry. every frame. That seems very wasteful. So I just set this this dirty flag, and if it is, it recreates it. So you get an identity matrix, and you scale it, rotate it, translate it. The order you do these in matter. If you translate and then rotate it, if you rotate it first, so it's an example. So you rotate it first, and then you translate. That's fine. But if you translate and then rotate, it does it like that, so it actually moves in in 3D space. And in my world, it makes more sense to rotate first. But of course, I will put a thing there so you can override that if you really want it to, because there are times when you're going to want to do that. Actually, that reminds us how I should probably do the first person camera. Doesn't matter. Sorry. What else did I do that I wanted to show? Oh, my yeah, the world matrix. So when I render, I've got this buffer in my vertex shader, I want to say, pixel shader, vertex shader. So I've got two buffers. One is a constant buffer for the projection and view matrices, which don't change. Once they're set on the frame, they don't change. But then you have the world matrix for whatever object you're rendering. So I set these two before I start rendering everything from the render queue. Then I set these per model, or per whatever. I'm only doing it on 3D stuff at the moment. I'm not using the world matrices on 2D stuff. That's all done manually through manipulation of vectors, because I want those to be billboarded, and that's the way I'm doing it. So I just set it here. This dot export. I've got my own matrix function, matrix class, and I just export it to a direct 3D matrix. Yeah, and I render it out, and yeah, I set the texture every model. I will eventually do what I've done with the sprites and have it render batches based on either the texture or the Z ordering, depending on which one I find is more efficient. Most likely I'll stick with the textures though, because of the way I plan on using it. Batch rendering textures seems to be the best way to go for the game I'm going to make. Sometimes, like when I read my own comments, I had to laugh at myself, and I got, like, for whatever reason, the default model is a triangle, deal with it.jpg, because I'm a fucking idiot. Because if you just load this default model class, it comes back with a triangle. It's not something that I need to do. I probably shouldn't, so I'll probably get rid of that at some point. But it was good to test with. I don't believe I've done anything else too interesting. Doesn't look like it. Like, obviously I've updated the render manager to take your 3D stuff, and that does the 3D stuff in the background. When you call render on anything in my engine, it doesn't actually render it there and then. It just adds it to the queue and it renders it at the end. The reason being, if you want to create instances of something, you can. I haven't quite figured out how I'm going to do instancing just yet, but I'll figure that out at some point. I updated the textures so that if you load an invalid texture, it actually throws back the default texture, which I was doing before, but it's doing it in a much better, different way at the moment. I think that's about it. I can't really think of anything else to think about. I'm feeling really unwell. In me news, I got a new phone, finally. Got the OnePlus One. Very cool phone, very nice looking. This is actually my second one. The first one I got, the SIM card slot didn't work, so I had to send it back, unfortunately. But it definitely beats my... yeah, there you go. My lovely wife did that. Accidentally, of course, but Doesn't mean I can't bag her out for it. Alright, I'm going to leave it there. Have any questions, comments below? I read them all because I get like one every 35 videos. And yeah, that's it. I will catch you guys next time. Bye.